Welcome back, everybody, to episode 51. Actually, I'm going to stop that because that's not true.
That's 58, you said,
I know.
right?
Um,
Okay.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode number 58. And my guest today again is Stacey Ann Bistak. Is
Yes,
that
correct.
right? Well, the episode 51, Stacey was on my podcast. You guys will be listening to that July 11th. It will be coming out, and I'm super excited. Or actually, July 11th it came out because today is going to be September when I post this. But Stacey, welcome back to Running Strong Mind Body Connection podcast. I'm so excited to have you back in our conversation today. So please share with our guests, where we're going to go because you're the expert at this.
Oh, well, I try to be. Thank you. Thanks so much, Karen. I am really enjoying being on your podcast. Love every minute of it. So let me start with I am still learning a lot of things, and I started this research on EMFs. You might know about it as electromagnetic frequencies. Maybe it's a term that's familiar to you or not, but just to be simple, it's radiation that's emitted from our cell phones, electronic devices, even the wires in our home, and all our gadgets. So now there are satellites up in the sky constantly emitting all these radiations down on us. There are cell towers everywhere. There's the 5G panels you see, on cell towers and things like that. And we are surrounded by these things. Now, many years ago, our ancestors were free of these man-made ones. They had just the natural electromagnetic frequencies of the earth and the universe. And that's how we grew up and were made to live in sync with all these cycles. Now, actually, these electromagnetic frequencies, they regulate our systems because you see the light of the sun is also a kind of frequency. It has the infrared, the visible light, and the UV light. And it's the UV light actually that governs our sleep patterns. When that light enters our eye, it signals to the brain how to govern the bodily patterns. And that's how we feel sleepy at a certain time of night. So when all of these other man-made EMFs come into the picture, it confuses our own bodily signals. And we, as a result, suffer. So our sleep gets out of whack. We're not able to fall asleep at night when we should. And now with all these artificial lightings like the LED lights, the fluorescent lights, those are even contributing to this radiation and the confusion of our bodies. So now this not only disturbs the sleep cycle, it also causes widespread damage at the cellular level. So deep within our bodies, all our organs and tissues are composed of all these wonderful cells. And within each cell is the energy generating mitochondria. Now, all that is disrupted because of these EMFs constantly bombarding us. So we have to find some way we can't escape them because they're all around, but we can be careful so that we don't suffer the consequences. So let me tell you some of the consequences. So besides sleep, of course, the energy is disrupted. So we might have brain fog, we might have fatigue. Many instances of chronic fatigue syndrome actually can be attributed to EMF radiation. Now, the other thing is brain fog because, our brains are constantly going, they need energy. They're actually energy hounds, like they take a lot of our energy, even though they occupy such a small space in our body. So, like it disrupts everything. Now, besides that, it like, of course, these radiations from cell phones are called non-ionizing radiations, which mean that they're not as damaging as the higher frequency radiations, which are like the X-rays and the gamma rays, X-rays for medical imaging and all of that. Those can cause even more damage. And that's why when you go to the doctor and you have to have an X-ray, they give you the shield, right? So that those don't penetrate into your body and cause additional damage. So though they don't cause damage as much as the ionizing radiation does, they do cause breaks in the DNA, which are becoming more clear now with all the research. So what does that mean? That means it can, over the course of, months and years of exposure and being too close to these frequencies, it can actually lead to cancer. When DNA is damaged, it ultimately leads to proliferation of cancer. And besides, there's also inflammation causes, and inflammation is another cause of cancer. So now you might have heard of some people saying that they're really sensitive when they talk on the phone or they're near certain smart meters or things like that. And I know of many people myself who have this electro hypersensitivity. Now, when they talk on the phone, sometimes they feel their head gets tight, or they feel dizzy, they feel nauseous. And if I'm talking to such a person, I tell them, okay, always keep your phone on speaker mode. That's better, so you can keep it far away. And the further away from it, from you are, the less radiation exposure and the less damage to your cells. And many people have the habit of carrying their phones in their pockets and in their purses quite close to them. That's another thing I tell people, please, please, please don't do it. Or don't put your computer on your lap while you're working. Those are all ways in which we can remedy some of the damage. Now, you might have also noticed many people have Bluetooth in their car, right? All of that is exposure too, with the Bluetooth speakers and all of that, especially if your windows in the car are closed. It's actually concentrating all the frequencies on you. So it's best to have the windows open if you're talking. That's one thing I tell people. And the other thing too is if you're in an area which is in which there is poor reception, try to get to a place where there's better reception before you make a call, because that also increases the exposure. The same thing with talking on the phone in your basement. There's less signals get through. So with all that said, there are ways to try to keep yourself safe. Of course, there are there's technology out there that can be attached to your phone, or you can wear them, like wearable technology. There are things like that, or there are grounding mats. Well, grounding actually, just walking outside barefoot is also a good way to get rid of these bad charges in your body. And eating the right foods, of course. That's what I tell everyone, because I'm a nutritionist, and having a proper diet with actually a variety of fruits and vegetables which have all the antioxidants. The antioxidants are the protection against these free radicals which damage the cells. And free radicals are generated from these radiation and bad waves, if we can call them that. So,
Well, with us as ultra runners, we're out in nature all the time.
yeah,
Right.
nature is good. Yeah.
You spoke earlier of the sleep deprivation, and that just sort
Yes.
of reminded me of, brought back the memory of, there's a race called Badwater 135.
Oh, okay.
And at the recording of this podcast, which is July 11th,
Yeah.
We just got through, me and my husband just got through crewing a friend of ours who ran this race.
Oh,
Now, even so, there's a lot of people who run 100 milers. There's a lot of
hmm,
people who are running the 200 milers are becoming really, really big right now. And
right.
there's a lot of sleep deprivation.
Hmm.
The crew got pretty much shoddy sleep because your body's going to go through so much and the brain just needs to shut down. And even if it's 20 minutes, it's something, but it's not restorative
Restore.
to our body. And
Right.
so even the runners, our
Hmm.
runner slept 7 minutes here, 7 minutes there because he was so sleepy, but he was sleepy when he came into the race. So we're
Hmm.
already sleep deprived, right?
Yeah, we
And
are.
then there's another woman who's like, I have a hard time falling to sleep.
Hmm.
But for the runner part, it's what is the best modality? What is the best, yeah, modality of what we can do when we deprive ourselves of sleep? And my thought was, I trained for that. And so my first training was doing long distance cycling and riding through the night. I'm training my mind and my body to get past that 1 a.m. I got to go to sleep now, the
Hmm.
shutdown. And I know the
Yeah.
brain needs to recharge itself, but now I'm at
Right.
the level with running 100 milers. I'm good all night long.
Hmm.
But what's the best modality we can use as runners who really fall asleep? My husband wants to fall asleep at 1 o'clock in the morning
Hmm.
and do that. And how healthy or unhealthy is it for our bodies?
Okay. When you say you want to fall asleep at 1 o'clock, you mean that do you have to stay up for some time?
No, when I do, for me, I have a lot of energy, so I'm really good at doing a whole 100 milers. I don't get sleepy at all.
Oh, okay.
And so these 100 milers are going through all day, then all night into the next
Oh,
morning.
I
And
see.
so there are some people like my husband who can't go through all night because
Mm.
he just his
Needs
he
the
just
sleep.
shut yeah, he needs to sleep. So, and at that it's not going to be an 8 hour sleep. It's only going to
Hmm.
be a half hour,
Yeah.
20 10 10 20 30 minute sleep.
Mm. Right.
But the people who are either fight it, we can address that, or the people who just naturally like me I can go for 100 miles
Mhm.
easily without needing to sleep in the middle of the night.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a tough choice. I mean, depriving your body and going like that is putting a lot of stress on it, you know, as you know. But and actually, I mean, I must say this because even a single night's sleep deprivation, like disrupts the brain's clearance of
Right.
toxins. So that cannot be actually compensated for by sleeping longer the next day. And that's just a fact. But I know there are situations when you have to push through. So I understand that. So I would say the best strategy is to do something. You might be able to look it up too. It's called non-sleep deep rest, and it's a process by which you put your body into a state of deep sleep where it actually gets the rejuvenation it needs. So that's one thing. And of course, getting any kind of sleep, even a nap, is great as long as, well, if you're napping, say, well, if the nap happens to be in the daytime where you're trying to
Right.
catch up on a little sleep, I would suggest not napping more than 20 or 30 minutes
Yeah.
because then it would disrupt your nighttime napping. I mean,
Right.
nighttime sleep.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
So what's the deep sleep? You said deep sleep renovation?
Oh, it's called
When
non-sleep deep rest.
non-sleep.
Yeah.
So what is that?
So that's a method of almost meditation, I would say, that sets you into that kind of a, I cannot explain it in the little time we have, but it will
Sure.
have to be a, it will have to be a practice that you do. And I help some clients with that. So yeah, so
Very cool.
that's one thing. Yeah.
Is this something you have to sit and do, or can you do this like when you're still running, walking on the trail in the middle of the
Oh, no,
night?
no. No, no, you'll have to be resting. Yeah.
Zombie. We call that zombie walking.
Right. no, I wouldn't suggest that while running or walking. Yeah.
Can an ultra runner, can a person running like 200 miles? So let me explain that is the essence that 100 miles, some people can do anywhere between 14 hours and 30 hours. There's
Okay.
different type, different, it's different speed of runners. You know, you have the
Mhm.
elites who can really knock out this
Yeah.
stuff really fast, and you have the people who are the average people like me who will do
Mhm.
it like in between closer to the full hour, the full 30 hours.
Right.
Um, I lost my thought. So I can do, like I said, I can do the 100 miles in 30 hours with a
Okay.
30-hour time frame. It's not necessarily, but anywhere between 28 and 32, depending on the 100, with
Mhm.
no sleep and still feel pretty good. I do know at night that I have a pacer with me, and sometimes that stimulates my brain and gets me talking, keeps me away from that, the alertness of all the animals around me, that I'm hearing the elk in the world, and keeps me
Right. Keeps
keen
you.
to what's going on in nature.
Yeah.
But then there's these people who can do 250 miles on 10 minutes of sleep and finish it in an incredible amount of time. And then the people who are in, and the other people who are doing 200 miles. So we're doing a 200-mile race, 250-mile race that has a 125-hour cutoff.
Oh, okay.
And through that, people do sleep.
Mm.
What is the key amount of time to get the best recovery to be able to get up and go continue running? What would be the best amount of time? And why I'm saying that is because when I rode a 1200K,
Mhm.
there was one night I just did 2 hours. And the belief back then was 2 hours because you go into this deep sleep and you're totally
Well,
restorative. And I could be wrong, so I want you to correct me or whatever. And then eat, drink, and then get back on the road. And I felt great.
well, there are let me preface this by saying that there are some people who can survive on less sleep, and that's due to a genetic mutation they have. Maybe you're one of them, or maybe you're not, but still, maybe by practice you got accustomed to this. But ideally, um, when we sleep, our body goes through different sleep cycles, and um, now it's usually 90 minutes per cycle, and in in the beginning part of it, we don't detox as much. So it's only until we get to the later sleep cycles, and this I'm talking about during a 6 to 7 hour period at least. So it's only when we get to the later cycles that we actually detox and get some of the deep sleep. So I mean, there are various factors that come into play. Maybe how tired you are, because I remember too when I used to be totally exhausted, some years ago, I used to just fall asleep as fast as I mean, in the blink of an eye, and then I would wake up even, with less than 6 hours and still feel okay. And it, so it depends on how fast your body actually gets into that deep rest. And then there might be other factors that come into play because, well, again, when you're running, definitely adrenaline is high and cortisol is high and everything is going, and you feel that you can just keep pushing through it, right? But it depends on how fast you can wind down after that for your body to actually get into that deep sleep.
So for me, on running hundreds, at first
Mhm.
I couldn't.
Okay.
I'd come home, shower, and then I'd have a restless sleep. And it'd
Right.
take about 3 days before I actually got a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
But now I think my body's so accustomed to that
Mhm.
that now I get a really great night's sleep the day after, after I've finished.
Mhm.
I can
Yeah.
sleep really, really well.
Great. Yes.
And then I know for me, can get strong 2 nights of 8 hour sleeps,
Mhm.
and then I'm fully rested, and then it comes to 5 to 6 hour sleeps, and I feel good.
Mhm.
So I've always been that way. I've always had that high energy, and I've never had, I'm not one that always, every night I have to have 8 or 9 hours. That just doesn't work
Okay.
for me. I have too much energy.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I guess each one is wired a different way, you know.
Yep.
We are unique in so many ways, and um, that's what I find too. Is like some people can function really well on less sleep, and like they're not, they don't make mistakes, they don't get confused about anything. Like they're fine. Like they're operating on 100%. So, um, like see, like there are all these there's all this research, and that's what I'm going from when I'm talking to you about the
Right.
cycles of sleep and the deep rest and all of
Yep.
that. But again, not everybody has been studied, right? Like they have
Right.
only done it on certain groups of people, and it's like they're conjecturing in many ways, and we can't really know our individual biology. Sometimes it's what you feel and what you know is right for you that's best sometimes. And that's the same thing with nutrition for each one, I find too. When I deal with clients, something that works for somebody with the same situation that someone's in might not work for someone else with the same situation
That's true. That's
because
true.
we're so uniquely made up.
Right. We're so on the previous podcast to this, we're all connected and we're all the same, but then we're unique in our own selves as
Yeah,
well. And so that's pretty
right.
powerful.
Very true. Yes.
So when we are out running and we're talking about all these frequencies in the air, a lot of people run with the music in their ears,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people are, we're running out there. There might be cell towers and
Mm-hmm.
other types of stuff. How does that impact?
Yes. So like Bluetooth, and anything in your ears, if it's not wired, definitely it's actually very close to the brain, and that
Mm-hmm.
is causing a lot of damage over time. Not to make anyone scared, but it's the truth. And so, like if you have wired ones, they might be better. Now, the good thing about being outdoors, especially if there are trees around where you're running, is that the trees actually block electromagnetic radiation, like the leaves.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
so that's the benefit actually of being in nature. And there's you get a whole lot of benefit from being close to nature. You might have heard of the term Shinrin Yoku. It's a
Yeah,
Japanese term, yeah, and they call it forest bathing. And the benefits actually come not just by being outside, but being among the plants and the trees. There are natural volatile oils, like essential oils, that get released from all these plants that we're breathing in. And the microbes also from the air and the soil get into us, and that helps our whole immune system too. So there are so many benefits. And besides, I said the shielding from the EMFs as well.
right. So how you brought something new to me, a thought new to me of the essential oils that's just in nature.
Yes. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I use a lot of essential oils for a lot of, facial or healing or,
Mhm.
of anything. Where is it in nature? And so is this something that we pick up just
Yeah,
naturally
just by being in
from?
nature. Yeah, because like sometimes just the wind rustling in the trees like makes tiny little breaks in the leaves or something, and from that the essential oils are released.
We don't even realize
We
that.
don't even know it. Yeah, I
So
mean
we,
we may not get the smell like so strong, but
yeah.
they're all coming into us. Yeah.
So what's the benefit of sage?
Oh, sage is great for the brain for clarity.
Uh-huh.
Now, I know the native Indian people used to burn it for good
Mm-hmm.
energy and all that too.
Clearing. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and now it's a plant actually very high in antioxidants.
Mm-hmm.
So if you use it in your cooking, it can actually prevent some of the harmful chemicals that are caused by, you know, the high heat of cooking.
Hmm.
So that's a good thing too.
I
I'm
say that because in Death Valley,
mhm.
um, I was pacing up Towns Pass, but there's a lot of sage in the desert,
Ah,
and you
okay.
can smell it.
Right.
But I never realized that. And I love sage. I grow it myself,
Yeah.
and I create little sachets for people to
Mm,
give. And
mm.
the smell of the sage and the oil of the sage lasts
Yes.
forever.
Oh, yes.
It
Yeah.
never goes away. And I've
I
had
know.
one for like 15 years, and that little
Hmm.
sash, it still smells really, really fresh.
Mm. Yeah.
But how fascinating. So when we're out there, I didn't, we take in the smells, and the smell of
Yes.
sage is so strong that's impacting my
Your cognition,
cognition.
yeah, your
And
whole body. Yeah.
so we should
That's
just
right.
all run in nature all the time. Then
Yeah.
just, we don't even have to
We
buy
would.
all these oils. I
That's
can
right.
just, but there's
Well,
another thing that you mentioned. There was a lot of conversation this weekend too of like, I don't use
hmm,
sunblocks.
right. No, I don't use
And
it either.
so people are like spraying it all over their runners and
Oh,
everything.
no.
And then all I see is cancer, cancer, cancer
That's
going
right.
into that. So there's my belief of that. Why do we have so much that we have learned to blame it on the sun. The sun is not bad. It's the sun is our energy. And
Hmm.
you just alluded to the three benefits of the sun.
Hmm.
And we're demeaning that. We're diminishing
Yes,
that for ourselves
definitely.
because really what we're putting on our bodies is chemicals.
Hmm. It's
And that
chemicals.
chemicals goes into your skin, it goes into your body, and those are the
That's
cancer
right.
causing
Yeah,
principles.
that's
And
right.
so one gentleman, well, I just use coconut oil.
Yeah.
First off right off the gate, people are like oil burns. No, coconut oil doesn't
No.
burn. It
Mm.
does not burn, but it does protect, and it's
Correct.
really great source of moisturizing your
Hmm.
skin, bringing health back into your skin. I say that because I use it all the time. I make my own oil. I make my own face cream using all natural
Hmm.
stuff with essential oils and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But and I didn't use anything. Now
Hmm.
I may say that the sun, being in the sun for so long, may make our skin, you know, not as
Yeah.
soft, and but so does age. You
Right.
know?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. And in
But
fact,
go ahead.
sorry. And also when you put all these sunblocks and sunscreens on, your skin naturally can't make the vitamin D that your body needs.
Right.
The vitamin
Exactly.
D is
Exactly.
protective against so many things, against cancer. Um, and the other thing, it also blocks your pores, right? So you can't detoxify effectively.
Right.
That's another thing. And actually, all the foods that God created, with all the antioxidants, when we consume them, they are our natural sunblock. They
Yes.
protect us.
So I didn't use anything. I didn't burn.
Hmm.
And I was in the sun with him a lot. You know, we were in and out in 119 degrees and enjoying the
Yeah,
weather, but
correct. Yeah.
but it's such a mind shift for people on, oh, I have to stay out of the sun, or I have to protect myself from the sun. I have to protect myself from the sun. But what you're
Mhm.
doing is you're adding um,
Adding
injury to,
fuel.
I'm going to say, I'm simple thing, injury to injury here.
Yeah.
It's like you're just putting chemicals in your body and
Hmm.
creating that.
That's right. And also, the more refined foods you eat, the worse you will burn in the sun.
That's so expand on that.
So,
Expand on how the foods protect us from the sun.
well, yeah, so the antioxidants, like blueberries and leafy greens and all of that are rich in color, right? And all
Yes.
of that provide a lot of antioxidants, which actually help to quench these free radicals, they're called, that are formed when um, damaging things enter our bodies, or our own cells actually create these free radicals during their own metabolic processes. When there's a buildup of all these free radicals is when, uh, you know, cancers and all sorts of illnesses happen. So antioxidants are protective, and also the kinds of oils that we use in our food play a part, because the ones that get damaged by heat, are the ones that actually create more free radicals. So, as you said, coconut oil, it can be applied topically, but it's also great for cooking.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we cook with it
Mhm.
often. Um, my husband's from India.
Yeah,
So,
right. Yeah. No, they use a lot there. I know.
yeah. Um, Fascinating because when people do these long runs, they're eating junk.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
eating
Pizza.
highly processed
Oh
foods,
my.
highly junk foods. And I'm just, what brought to my mind is that curiosity because I always want to have natural and something healthier. And what I
Mm,
do is what I love is I make myself I take a sweet potato, a red sweet
yeah,
potato,
that's
and
great. Spinach.
I scrape the skin off, I chop it up, cube it up,
Mm-hmm.
put coconut oil on it, a lot of salt, and bake it. So then I have
Yeah,
the sweet potatoes in
that's
baggies
great.
that is full of coconut oil, which
Mhm.
number one is good fat,
Yes,
and the
that's great.
salt is good for the sodium. And
Mm-hmm.
eat that during a run. I also do tortilla. Now that's going to be not, but I put avocado and
Mm-hmm.
maybe
Good
cheese
fats.
on
Yeah.
it and salt in it, and that's good flavors and whatnot. But then we get when we want to use a simple foods, I do go to products that are pre-made in the gel world that are more
Mm-hmm.
naturally based,
Mm-hmm.
and as opposed to the high sugar and high glucose content.
Cons. Oh, yeah, correct.
And so, how else can a ultra runner eat and be
Oh,
and keep replenishing our bodies? Now, we're not going to go out there and eat a bunch of vegetables, and I don't
no.
do a lot of fruit either
Yeah, right.
because they usually have melons out there and I can't eat melons.
Mm.
Um, so what else could be the best
So,
to make us better runners?
yeah, so for fuel, you could, I mean, I, I don't know if like a group of people come with you where they bring along food, or how do you carry your food on, like by
So
yourself?
I have a pack that I
Okay,
carry, and
okay.
then if I have a pacer with me, I still have to carry my stuff.
Oh,
And
okay.
then I have a crew that meets me along the way at certain
Uh,
places.
oh,
That's how
okay.
I get that stuff. And then there's aid stations along the way. And the
Okay.
aid stations normally have peanut butter and jelly on white bread.
Oh, okay.
They have potato chips. They have boiled potatoes, which you can dip in salt. They'll have Oreo cookies. They'll have sweet stuff, cookies stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have top ramen noodles soup.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have that's
Well,
kind of what
oh,
I
okay,
think.
I see. Yeah, well, the less processed, the better. I would say even taking some um, packs of honey if you can get it. That's great if you can have honey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
So
that
what's
would.
the benefit of honey?
Well, honey provides you steady energy, and it's a natural source. It has a lot of nutrients in it too. It's not going to actually not going to affect your blood sugar levels like people think it
Right?
does. Yeah. So natural sugars like that, or even having some dates, those are great. Dates are, keep the blood sugar in balance as well as provide sustained energy. Um, having uh, I mean, I don't know if y'all could arrange for maybe coconut water or something. That's a good hydrator.
Yep, that's a huge, and yes, that is other stuff. And a hot day, those are real, that coconut water
Mm,
is really good to drink.
yeah,
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
So things like that could help. You might even get some. There might be. I mean, like this is just. And I'm not opposed to having like candies which are made of like maple syrup. You get those. Those can be things that you can have for some energy. It'll be quick energy too, and
Mm-hmm.
won't be disruptive to your system
Right,
like other refined sugars and bread and
right.
white bread. Yeah.
So do you, I guess that's probably too big of a question. I was going to talk about people's stomachs when they go south and they get sick or feel
Oh.
bloated and whatnot. But that's probably a personal thing on each individual, how their body processes foods, what it is they're eating and drinking and on and on and
Mm,
on. But
right.
that
Yeah.
is something to think about. And we all want to be our best as runners.
Oh
We
yeah.
all want to
Anyhow.
finish. And how do we
Mhm.
do that, nutritionally and get
Mm,
enough calories? Because doing 100 miles, you're
that's
burning,
Yeah, a
And the
lot.
idea is to get at least 200, between 200 and 300
Mm,
calories an hour, along
mm,
with water and
right. Yeah,
electrolytes,
right.
and how
Yeah.
to bring
So,
that up.
so yeah, so definitely the sweet potato that you do is great.
Mm-hmm.
That's a source of concentrated energy. Like maybe even for a change, maybe even some roasted carrots or other root vegetables, could be great.
That's fascinating. I never thought about carrots, and the carrots will be real sweet, and that can be
Mm-hmm.
very,
Yeah,
very fun.
satisfying in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to have, for me, it's good. I like to have different flavors in my mouth because that's a lot of
Mm.
hours of doing something. I don't want
Yeah,
to have the
yeah,
same thing. You get really
right.
sick and tired of some
Yeah,
foods and
right. Yes. Yeah. And actually some of the foods, I don't know. I know you can carry a lot, so but like cucumbers are also good as hydration, not necessarily calorie dense, but
right.
what else? I mean, you could there could be a way to probably um, you know, have some, well, I'm thinking of recipes now, but that doesn't go into a lot of stuff. But, some kind of like a rice, like a wild rice or something, or even not necessarily wild, but it could be added, you could add some spices to it that help actually your digestive system. So that could be.
Fascinating, because I remember when I first got with my husband and I was his third bad water. He
Mm,
spent quite a bit of time making his own rice concoction
yeah, right.
with spices in it and on and
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
And so he stopped doing that, but now he has stomach issues, and I'm curious if he went back to
Ah,
doing that. That'd be
yeah.
fascinating. What kind of spices do you recommend?
I would recommend something like cumin, caraway, maybe ginger if that agrees with you,
Right,
because those
right.
things are
Hmm.
very good for the digestive system. And there's another seed, you might have heard of it, ajwan. That's another one.
What is
So,
it? Oh, I've heard of it.
yeah,
Ashwan, okay.
yeah.
I don't think we have that, but ginger, yeah, I know he put ginger in it. He put some of the Indian
Mhm.
spices in it, and
Right. Now,
yeah,
turmeric is anti-inflammatory too, so
right,
that could be added in because,
right,
well, like a lot of inflammation is generated as you're running, right?
of
Which is a
course.
good thing, but it helps you heal as well. But you don't want it to get out of control. So yeah,
And you that was turmeric?
yeah,
Is that, yeah, I know. I
mhm,
use that all the
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. In fact, turmeric is also protective against radiation. So
Oh, very cool. And that's
mm,
something, we don't, I appreciate all this. I appreciate the information because we don't think of the consequences of something that we're doing to ourselves, right?
yeah,
And
that's right.
so I know I have these little, I don't have them right here. I have these little Bose Bluetooth
Oh yeah, yeah,
earpods.
right. Yes.
And I know that when I was using the one in my right ear
Mhm.
for a lot, I started getting pain in my ear.
Yeah,
And so I
that.
stopped using it. I was using it, listening to stuff that meetings I
Mhm,
was in. I was
mhm.
doing it all the time. And I never use it on trails, but I see so many
Yeah.
people using the iPhone
Oh,
Bluetooth
yeah.
thing
Correct.
in their
Yes.
ear and running with that. Um, I don't use anything, but it's so fascinating because we don't think about
Don't think about it.
all the stuff, even the cell phone and
Mhm.
what it puts into our
Yeah.
body. And we are always carrying our
That's
cell
right.
phones with me.
Yeah.
Mine rides in my back pocket when I'm doing
Oh,
anything
why
because
not you put it there?
oh,
Please.
maybe I should, maybe that's why my hip hurts.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm telling you, it might very well be. Or if you're putting it there, at least put it on airplane mode.
Oh, fun, fascinating. Well,
Yeah.
I can't do that because this drives my car.
Oh,
This pays
uh,
my
oh,
grocery bill. So
I see.
now I need to go back to using my purse and put it in my purse. But
At
I don't have to
least.
take a
Yeah.
purse anymore. I can just put my cell phone in my pocket and go.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Yeah. There's a little inconvenience, but for your health, I would say. Right. No, I mean, well, all these things are, like we're so used to conveniences, like the cell phone is a convenience.
Yep.
But again, we have to dispose of some convenience to make our health convenient to ourselves. So,
Yes.
yeah.
So you mentioned grounding. I have a grounding mat at my feet here. We ground ourselves when we go run in nature.
Yes, right.
And pay attention, people out there, when you're in nature. Just, I mean, it's the trees, it's Mother Earth, it's everything
Mhm.
that's around us that gives us that energy. And absorb that, let that be in ourselves and the energy around us. Um, I don't know if I had one more question for you. I thought I had something else, but anyways, Stacy, thank you. Oh my gosh. I think this was supposed to, I just love the magnitude of our conversations and where they lead us. And it may not be down the same exact same path, but it's self-serving in the essence that we're runners and what we do to our bodies and the energy that's around us and the energy frequencies that impacting us. And
Mhm.
how can we be a better runner? By creating a healthier body all
Yes.
around. And so I'm going to take in some of your little advice for different foods to eat on my 100-mile runs and my 250-mile run. How bad is
Yes.
it to eat meat?
Oh, not bad.
Okay,
In fact,
good.
it's good because your body needs the protein definitely
Yeah,
for muscle recovery and all of that. It needs the leucine and all those branched chain amino acids. Those are important.
that's
And
perfect.
yeah.
I was thinking of, because when I was training for the 250 that I didn't run, but I'm running it next year, that I had this most amazing mushroom burger. And it was
Mm,
like, oh, I want that on my
yeah.
run.
Right.
Okay, good.
Yes. Yeah.
Stacy,
Definitely.
let's leave our guest with the one strong motivational advice that I know you have in your heart to share with us.
So I would say I know these electromagnetic frequencies are invisible, but they're all around us. And I don't want to scare anyone, but I want you to please be aware and take some cautions against
Yep,
it.
very good. Stacy, thank you so much for coming back and
You're
sharing
welcome.
your wisdom with us. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Karen. It was my pleasure.